The dispute surrounding the exclusion of Arise SA from the national ballot in the upcoming elections is still in question. The party is taking its challenge to court ahead of the general election next month. Arise SA will be on the provincial ballot but will not appear on the national and the regional list as things stand due to non-compliance with Independent Electoral Commission regulations. Now, to give us an update on this, we're joined by Arise SA President Mpho Dagada. Thank you so much for your time and good morning.
Morning, and thank you so much for having me.
Can you clarify the specific reasons behind Arise SA's removal from the national ballot, especially since you claim that you were completely up to par with everything required?
So yeah, we found it to be very odd as to why we were removed. So what happened was we were actually on the national ballot as well. And that's, I think, one day later, we were then removed. We then went to the IEC, we marched and we picketed to find out why we were removed. And they didn't have any answers for us. So we then went to the electoral court. The matter will be heard on Monday. We are, however, on the provincial ballot, so we are on all 9 provinces. But on Monday, we're going to court to be able to hear why were we not on the national ballot, as we did meet all requirements to be on both the national and the provincial ballot paper.
Yeah. Now, how did the Electoral Commission of South Africa respond to your allegations of maladministration leveled against them?
So firstly, they apologized. They said that they've been having administrative issues when we brought out the fact that we were on the paper for national and we weren't. And for us, we were a little bit concerned to say that we're moving towards a very powerful and strong election in our country where many young people are going to be voting. In fact, majority of the youth are going to be voting that we've ever seen in this country. And we're seeing these sort of things to be hindrances and disturbances. Arise South Africa is a political party that's loved by many young people. I myself am a youthful president. I'm actually the youngest presidential candidate within our country. So we find this to be very discouraging for young voters that want to vote, and even the older voters that are saying we want a fresh new perspective. We want the youth outlook. We want somebody who will be able to bridge the gap between the old generation and the young generation, and South Africa's majority youth, and really bring in the country and move forward in unity. And that's what we offer as Arise South Africa. And we believe that after Monday we will be on all 3 ballots. So we look forward to making sure that the voters are able to vote for us on all 3 of these options.
Yeah, why do you believe so?
I think for us, really, where the country is, the country needs youthful leadership. That's very important. If you look at our country, we are majority youth. The majority sits between 18 and 35. That's also where the biggest unemployment rate actually sits. In this country, we have this huge issue where pensioners are sitting in government and the world is moving so fast and agile and changing. I mean, the speed of data, robotics, artificial intelligence, machine learning, computational thinking, all these advances need young people, agile people, leadership that understands how to move with the times. Because where we are as South Africa, we're very far behind as to where the world is. And that's why we see this gap in unemployment, this gap in the poverty rates, and we need to catch up. So we need to be able to have a generational mix within Parliament, within the provincial legislators, a good mix of young people as well as the old as well, because right now we only have the pensioners. You know, the average age is 60 in Parliament. It doesn't make sense. So we want to have a good mix that's going to work for our country, where we have the young people thinking, and also the old people coming together to solve these big challenges that we have as a nation.
Let's talk about transparency. Do you think that the processes of the IEC, especially pertaining to the vetting and the selection of political parties, is fair?
Look, I don't think it's fair at all. I think for the first time in our country, we're seeing the least amount of political parties on the ballot paper. And if you remember well, when we started the process, people sort of said, well, the voting book will be a book. We'll have to page over 600 political parties. And that's just not true. We've only now got about, in the Northern Cape, we only have 23 political parties that will be on the ballot paper. Even here in Gauteng, we only have about 50. In national, we only have about 40 and 50. We don't have more than 60 political parties that are going to be on the ballot paper. So what we've seen is we've seen a new system that the IEC has brought in to basically get rid of political parties. And even ourselves as Arise South Africa, being a new political party, we're not funded by any white monopoly capital or any funders out there. These are young people that said, we'll put in our own money to make sure that we get on the ballot paper and ensure that we bring about this so needed change. And what we had to see and the hurdles of collecting the signatures, we had young people going on the ground, we went all around the country, country, ensuring that we get enough signatures to enter. And not only that, the big deposit of 750,000, we find that to be a bit of a deterrent, because as young people, as Arise South Africa, without getting any funding, we had to raise that ourselves. I had to put in money as myself, as capital. Young people had to put in money to a point where we're saying we're doing this because we realize that the future of our nation is in jeopardy if we don't actually stand up and do something. So we find that the process hasn't been very transparent, and we find that they're trying to make it more difficult for political parties to enter. And I think that is because they're beginning to realize, or the ruling party rather, is beginning to realize that change is knocking at the door. That the young people are saying, we're not just going to sit back and watch you guys run our country into the ground. We're actually going to come on board and ensure that these changes happen. And I think that when the wind of change is blowing, there is a lot of hindrance to change. But I believe that with us being on the ballot paper as an alternative to all these old political parties that have not caused much change in our country over 30 years, I believe that the voters are going to see it for what it is, to say change is very necessary. We need young people, agile people, forward-thinking people, and I believe that they will vote for Arise South Africa.
Now, are you confident that the Electoral Commission is open to re-evaluating Arise SA's candidacy in the national ballot?
Yes, we're very confident. On Monday, we're going to actually be going to court, and it's going to be all online. The whole country will be able to hear and see as to what's going on. So we believe that the matter would not be sitting in court if it wasn't at this stage. And also what we're beginning to realize as well is that a lot of these processes and procedures that they've put in place, a lot of them have been very hostile to new political parties.
How so?
It's as though there's an agenda to say new political parties shouldn't be there. In terms of, when we call and try and inquire what's going on, when we go to the offices, a lot of the attitude of the IEC has been very hostile to say that they're not very open or welcoming to new political parties. And we as Arise South Africa have been able to push through those boundaries to say, look, regardless of the hostility that we're seeing, we're still going to be able to ensure that we do so. So we believe that we will be victorious on Monday when we do sit for that court hearing.
Why do you think this is? You speak of hostility towards new political parties. What's your position on this particular matter?
Look, I think the truth of the matter is that the IEC has been compromised in one way or another. And I think we're seeing it with a lot of the things that they're doing. They're now taking the MK to court. There's a lot of political parties that are going to court. When we counted, it was about 20 new political parties that are disgruntled and still going to court. And we think that the issue here is that they're trying to have the least amount of political parties on the ballot paper so that people are forced to sort of vote for what is already there, the old legacy political parties. And the electorate of people are saying that, no, we need new leaders. We're tired. It's been 30 years. The results we've seen are not good enough. Majority of the people in the country are still living in poverty. Young people are still unemployed. We still have all these big issues with water and health within our nation. It's been 30 years of democracy. So people are saying, let us give the new generation a chance. And I believe that scares the old political legacy system. And a lot of them are getting very nervous and saying that, what the people want is not what they are giving them. The people want new, fresh ideas. And I think that has caused a bit of a shift in the way that they've decided to deal with new political parties. I mean, if we had 600 political parties that wanted to contest, and now we only have 23 in the Northern Cape, I mean, what could have happened for them to squeeze out all the rest? And not all political parties are fortunate enough to go to court. Not all of them are as eloquent or have a clear understanding to approach these things. So we believe that they have tried to do that. But however, Arise South Africa has stood the test of time. We are on all 9 provincial ballots, and we're one of the only few political parties that made it thus far, and we believe that it will also be on the national ballot as well.
I love the confidence, I really do. But what happens next if you're not included on that national ballot?
Look, I think we are on all 9 provincial ballots, and everybody's going out there and saying, look, wherever you are as Arise South Africa, we're going to vote. And the reason they're saying that is because they say they've listened to our manifesto, they've went out there and listened and actually put into thought as to what we have to say. What we did is we evaluated the things that have happened in the last 30 years. And what we're realizing is that our people really have nothing. Our people are poorer. They're more frustrated. Young people's education is not even working for them. They're unemployed. In fact, many of our people are disgruntled and in a state of hopelessness. And what we're saying to them is that to say, After 30 years, a country like South Africa, which is one of the richest countries in the world in terms of minerals, we have over 2 trillion worth of minerals in this nation. And every day we see trucks leave our country, they leave with minerals, and there is no change. Manufacturing is not happening, new factories are not being built, people's health care is only deteriorating. We're seeing that people are poorer, they have less money to spend, our educational system is crumbling, young people are striking every day. We have all these issues that people are saying we need to see change. And that's why people are saying we're going to vote. So we believe the electorate will be able to vote for us in all 9 provinces that will be leading there. And we also believe that in national as well. But if we don't make it through the court case, we are there on the provinces. And that's the important thing, that we still have an opportunity to see a new government ruling within the 9 provinces. And we believe that people will be voting for us.
All right. Thank you so much, Mpho. Arise SA leader Mpho Dagada. Let us know your thoughts on X. We are at Newsroom 405.